welcome to the podcast that we call Students Against Crime. The show that we talk about a bunch of people who did crime, and we give our thoughts on it and give you information about it. I'm the host, Jude.
Hamza.
And my name is Hannah.
In today's episode, we will discuss the killer clown, also known as John Wayne Gacy. We'll discuss the ins and outs of what he did, like murder, and at the very end, we'll give you all a special surprise. Be sure to listen all the way through this podcast. You won't regret it. It's going to be a life-changing experience. Okay, so first, we're talking about John Wayne Gacy here, guys. Do you guys know anything about it?
I know that he killed about 33 people.
Yeah.
They said that they only discovered, how much did they say?
In regards to what?
The bodies.
The bodies, they found 27 bodies in the crawl space of his house. What do you think about that? That's 27 more than my crawl space.
Yeah, and he also mostly killed young males.
I mean, he stuck to it. I mean, I'm looking at the sheet of all the murders he's done. He was looking at the time sheet. He's very consistent with what kind of people he killed, which are young males.
Yeah, they also said they actually don't know how much exactly he killed. He doesn't even know either.
Well, 33 is based off what he admitted to.
Yeah.
You think he killed more?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he did.
I mean, he couldn't have killed more. He's dead. But when he was alive, I can imagine he killed more than 33 people. Well, looking at here, his first kill was 1972, and he got executed. In case you guys didn't know, he was caught and he got executed in 1994, which is actually a funny story because he had a famous last meal. Do you guys know what his last meal was?
There was like a bucket of chicken from KFC.
Yeah, because actually, before he murdered anyone, he was actually a manager of a couple KFC restaurants, and that's actually where we can dive in real quick. Of his first. He was actually a family man, in the community of Chicago. And this is located in out in the suburbs of Chicago. But he was a family man, and before he killed anybody, he was actually accused of sexual assault. While he was managing, he apparently exposed a couple of teens to pornographic material and gave them alcohol in an attempt to seduce them. And so he got caught with that. 2 teenagers, 2 young males. And this is before he killed anyone. And he got caught with that. Before he killed people. And there was Gacy attempted to strangle them and things of that nature, but so we know what Gary did. I mean, Gacy did. You know what Gacy did? Lonnie, do you know what Gacy did? Well, in response to that, after he did it, he was probably scared, I imagine, of his reputation because he had a reputation of a family man.
Oh, he moved, I think, right?
No, he hired a big senior boy to keep them quiet, to beat them up and bully them to be quiet. That's a little weird, don't you think?
It's very weird.
Really weird.
Yeah, but because of that. But later, he pleads guilty to sodomy, and then he gets 10 years in prison. Yet he's granted parole, which sounds like a big mistake to me if you look at the following sequences of events.
Also, he got married twice, you said?
Yeah, that's what marriage does, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, his last meal was KFC. That's chicken bucket, right? And do you know what his final words were?
Kiss my ass.
Whoa, are we allowed to say that? He said, yeah, what Hamza said. It's pretty messed up. I said at the very beginning he was called the killer clown. You know why, Hannah? He's called the killer clown?
Yeah, he used to be a clown at parties, I think.
Yeah, he would go around for kids' events dressed up as a clown and be the neighborhood man.
Yeah, I think his clown name was Poco or something.
Poco.
Poco.
Poco or something like that. Like Pompo?
Yeah, he made his own clown costume.
He looked really funny in that.
Well, Poco was loco because he killed lots of people, am I right? My goodness. Be very loco for that. Loco is Spanish for crazy, by the way. But but he would dress up as a clown, and he looking at this, we're looking at the timeline 1972, 1970. So 1972 was his first person he killed. His name was Timothy Jack McCoy, 16 years old.
Wow.
16 years old.
Did he only kill young males, or is it just?
Yeah, young males. I mean, looking through here, the oldest one is 21. There's 2 that are 21, and the youngest one looks like he's 14. That's younger than us.
It's crazy how he could kill so many people without getting caught.
It's crazy how he maintained a persona as a family man, and how I think it's interesting how people like that can maintain almost 2 personas. And I'm looking at the timeline here. It sounds like he would very rarely do it. From 1972 was his first kill. Then 1975, that's a 3-year gap. So you're wondering, was the first one merely like a idea of curiosity? He did it, and then he waited 3 years, and all of a sudden the idea's been creeping back up at him? Because in 1975 he killed again. But then after that, in 1976 was his next 3rd kill, April 6th. His next kill after that was May of that same year. He killed 2 kids in that same day. And then following that, in June, he killed another kid. And then on a different day in June, he killed another kid. So far, 1972, he killed 1 person. 3-year gap. 1975, he killed 1 person. And then the next year, he was killing someone every month. It looks like, yeah. He went, yes, every month of 1976, he killed someone starting in April.
He was just getting used to it at that point.
I think he started becoming an addiction,
Yeah, and at
It's
the
crazy.
same time, he was like really engaged in the community and did a lot for the community.
Yeah, going to the double life thing.
He had a super great reputation. That's why I think nobody like suspected him to be a murderer.
It's crazy how like none of the neighbors realized like what he was doing.
Well, I would think that there'd be lots of questions around the community because it was a suburban of Chicago. But if this many killings were occurring in this surrounding area, you have to think the community was was terrified and they were nervous. And I think that could have helped John Gacy from the aspect of he could come in and be the calm person who brings the community together. So I definitely think that was probably part of it. Well, inevitably, as we talked about, he got caught. I mean, we talked about he is the man with the longest sentence, which I believe was over 20 years life. And I think because he killed 30, because they proved 33 people.
Yeah,
I think
if
I could be wrong, but I believe that's the highest number of people like killed in like a serial killer thing. Like there might be like someone who did like a mass shooting, but from a serial killer, like each one was like a calculated thing. This is 33 people is huge.
Yeah, and he did get the longest sentence.
How did he get caught?
His home is searched, but his final victim was like someone who like for some reason the location when Gacy picked him up, picked up his final victim, who's the name of Robert Peist. His final victim, the police actually were able to get evidence after because he went missing, and then but John Wayne Gacy was actually tied to that person, were like last seen with him, and so that put police on his trail. And then they went in, they searched his home, and that's when they found the 27 people in the crawl space, and that's where they all that. So that's how he got caught. So then Gacy hired lawyers, and then he revealed all of his stuff to the lawyers. He's saying everything, at least up to 33 people, he revealed. And then that's when he's arrested, and he gets to the court in his confession. And now we're at the court. Of course, he's going to plead guilty because he said he killed at least 33 people.
He also said he threw some bodies in the river or something behind his house.
Yeah, 3 bodies were in the river, and I believe 3 were buried in his backyard. So if you do the math, 27 plus 3 plus 3, that's 33.
Wow.
What do you think of that, Hannah?
A very big number, way too big.
Yeah, I think 1's still too big for
I don't know how you can have the heart to do that.
I don't think there is a heart involved. Like to think like how big of a deal it is to kill 1 person, to multiply that by 33.
It was like 14-year-olds, 16-year-olds.
Yeah, to young people too.
Yeah.
It takes a very demented person to do such a
He
thing.
deserves what happened to him.
Well, his trial begins. I mean, obviously, it's not a question of if he's guilty or innocent. It's how hard it's really just a question of should he spend life in jail or should he be put to death. That's the real question. But he's found guilty. I believe this was a huge broadcast in America. Not like Jeffrey Dahmer and Bundy things were big, but Gacy, because I believe that they were different because Gacy, everyone could agree that I think because he killed way more people and he killed super young kids. But if I remember correctly, people said Ted Bundy was just super. What's the word? He was smooth. People were saying oh, Ted Bundy, how could this guy do it?
Charismatic.
Yeah, but I mean Gacy looks like a killer, man. I'm not gonna lie.
He does.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a clown too.
Yeah, I mean
That's
that man.
a sign of being a killer.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. A killer would get a bucket of KFC at the end.
Yeah. I mean, he was a manager, so he was
no one sympathized with this dude. We wanted him guilty. But the jury took only 1 hour and 50 minutes to find him guilty. But but there was also unidentified victims. They were buried after the case.
Yeah, I think there was more. I think he probably lied. There's probably more bodies.
Yeah, he killed a lot of young runaways and other boys that wouldn't be searched for.
Yeah, which is interesting which is ironic because his last person, the one time he didn't do a runaway. I guess when he got 2, he couldn't wait that long. He had to do that. And one time he messed up. He got caught. Now after he gets sentenced to death after his court case, and so we know he tries to appeal to the Supreme Court against using the 8th Amendment sentence to cruel and unusual punishment. Of course, let's be honest here. That nothing's cruel about getting executed. I mean, it's cruel, but it's not unusual. And for the situation, one could argue that it's not that cruel compared to what he did. And so it's really just a question of one's own morals and ethics. But the general consensus was that it did not meet the criteria to be both cruel and unusual. Because, in case you guys don't know, Eighth Amendment, it's cruel and unusual. Let's say you were being dropped into a pit of crocodiles, right? That's cruel and unusual. But if you're getting, let's say, executed through electric chair, that's not unusual. That's cruel, but it's not unusual. And then
That's why it didn't work for me.
exactly. So at the very end, in May 10th, 1994, John Wayne Gacy is executed and he's put to death. But I think his legacy still lives on as like the killer clown, and it also shows people like your regular neighborhood person could be a killer. You gotta watch out.
Always gotta watch out for them.
Yeah. So some common questions I think that come up when people search up John Wayne Gacy is John Wayne Gacy's house. Do you guys think it's still standing?
Probably not.
We should put bets on the table. I say it's. I know the answer, but what do y'all think?
What do you
I
say,
think it's
Michael?
still.
You think it's still standing?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
What do you say?
I think it's still standing.
Well, y'all both saying the same answer, so there's no winner because it's still standing. It's still standing.
Yeah.
Okay. What were John? We already said what John Wayne Gacy's last words were.
Yeah.
What was John Wayne Gacy's zodiac sign?
You said he did kill a lot of people in June, right?
Yeah, he said that.
That doesn't mean he's.
Relation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's his birthday or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking like that.
I don't know. I was asking y'all.
Oh, you know
I don't think it's important that his zodiac sign. I don't think a zodiac sign
Yeah.
matters.
I don't
Do
believe
you
in
know
those
the
things.
answer?
No, I don't think you can see the answer. I'll ask y'all trivia questions.
Trivia questions?
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google it.
You can't Google the answers. That's
I'm gonna
cheating.
Google his zodiac sign.
Yeah, Google his zodiac sign. What year was his last murder?
You told us 1994.
No, I didn't. I said he was
That's when
murdered
he
in
was
1990.
executed. 2 years before he got executed.
Wrong.
What is it?
1978. If you do the math, that's more than 4 years. It's actually 6 years. He did his last killing. He was executed. That's 6 years. You'd imagine that's how long it takes for the American trial system to occur. It's a long system.
Wow.
Why did John Wayne Gacy live in Illinois? I think that's a good
I
question.
don't think that was a conscious choice.
I think it was a conscious choice. I think lots of people like that live in Illinois. I'm gonna be honest. Like, isn't that where like the Simpsons are? Springfield.
I mean, I don't know what that has to do with anything.
I've never been to one of those.
Was John Wayne Gacy a genius? Was that really a question?
I mean, if you think about it, he killed 33 people.
I don't think
You
I don't
need
think
to
that's
be
the
a
criteria to be a
genius
genius.
to
I think you just need to be a sick person.
Yeah. You're right.
Okay, the last question we'll ask for trivia. There's a movie based on John Wayne Gacy, Killer Clown's Revenge.
Revenge.
Yeah. He even killed 33 people. I guess that's his revenge.
I
He
think we
dressed up as a
should wrap
clown.
up by now.
Yeah, so I think that wraps up John Wayne Gacy. Definitely a cruel person, interesting person. What are y'all's closing consensus on him?
Terrible. What he did is
I
terrible.
think that's a good word to describe it.
Terrible? I think it's terrifying, to be honest. Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching.
Call to action is that you have to like our post on Instagram, right? You have to like our post. Don't like anyone else's post. Like ours. Everyone
We'll be
else's.
back. We'll be back very soon.
Yeah, we'll be back. Give us applause. If you want to give us money, please do. It goes to all our things. And next week we'll talk about the Slenderman. The Slenderman killings where two girls attempt to kill one of their other friends, except the friend lives, and the thing she has to say about that.
Watch out for that. We're coming.
Yeah.